Okay, so we're heading into the last one.
Right? And the first one is apathetic.
Wait, we're under bored.
Oh, sorry. Under bored, apathetic, indifference, or the suppression of emotions such as concern, excitement, motivation, or passion. An apathetic individual has an absence of interest in or concern about emotional, social, spiritual, philosophical, or physical life and the world.
Disengaged. And again, this is why I was saying, because apathy falls under boredom, right? And so
Yes.
if you are experiencing prolonged states of apathy and then boredom throughout your day because of the apathy, you need to be clinically looked after.
Right.
You can have apathy about a boring conversation, as we mentioned.
Yeah.
You can have apathy about learning where someone went on vacation.
Right.
Right? But it's not an indication of your overall emotional state.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. I like that. I like knowing when I feel apathetic about something. I do. And I like acknowledging in myself that I am disconnected from it. Because it does allow me just to know then that I still can observe. I still can learn. I still can be present, even though I'm apathetic about it. Doesn't mean that I can be rude. It doesn't mean that I have the right to bully. Or like to be ignorant. It just means I feel apathetic, and it can be good. Sometimes it's not. And if you're feeling apathetic about your partner and that's consistent, that's another kind of flag. I'm apathetic. I need to figure out why. And the last one under that is indifferent. Having no particular interest or sympathy, unconcerned. Well, I think that's critical. Because if you're in a conversation or you're in a relationship and someone is indifferent because they are unconcerned, hello. If that doesn't matter because it's a neutral person to me, sure, unconcerned is no problem. But if that's somebody who I think is connected to me and now they're unconcerned, then it's like, okay, is that a good thing because this isn't a big deal? Or is it a big deal and they're unconcerned? Well, wait. Why are they unconcerned if I see true value to this? So that's an indication that you are really on two different pages.
Yeah, and I hope too, but by the end of this, or hopefully already, you're either here because you're wanting to observe your own emotions, and or you're also looking to help yourself be able to be clued into and identify other people's emotions.
Yes.
Because like you said, if I can observe that my partner is displaying complete indifference towards me, then this helps me understand and validate my feelings of abandonment or my feelings of loneliness. And that's important so that you don't feel crazy.
Yes. And it gives you that conversation. It gives you the vocabulary to ask questions. Maybe you're sad, you look sad. What's going on underneath that? And now we can start asking questions using this vocabulary. Well, are you indifferent to what's going on? Are you apathetic? You can ask these things.
You brought up a really good point too. I know we're kind of wrapping this up soon and it's almost done, but not knowing these terms are the reason that people end up in therapy for years and years. And you may be sitting there thinking, my therapist sucks, or they just want my money. But really, the therapist has to go so slow to figure out how to educate you about each piece of this and observe it in your life. Take time to observe it and implement different skills so that you can actually get somewhere. But if you are doing the dirty work to know these things inside out.
The good work.
Yes. I like dirty work, but yeah, the good work. To show up at a therapist's office and say, no, this isn't depression. This is indifference towards this person. This is feelings of abandonment here because of what I've observed. You can work so much faster. And in so much more collaboration, you can feel safer that you're not going to be diagnosed with the wrong thing, right? Because a lot of us avoid getting proper help for our mental states because we're afraid we're going to be medicated or sent away.
Yeah.
And instead, if I walk in with a full vocabulary, we're just in a conversation now.
Right. And imagine walking in to see a therapist and say, I'm not indifferent about my partner. I don't feel unconcerned. I feel, and then going into what you feel about how you feel about your past or a coworker or your partner, but maybe apathetic or unconcerned aren't part of it.
Yep.
So the therapist can go, okay, so you're telling me that you're still attached to your partner and there is care there. I'm in this to help you get out, stay in it, versus are we supposed to be getting you out of this? Mm-hmm. What are we doing?
Yeah, and I'll bring this one up too because we're in sadness here. One of the questions that a therapist has to ask you is about your potential to self-harm.
Right.
And so I know this is a question that causes a lot of people stress because I do believe that we all think about suicide. Whether it's an intention to carry out or not, I think at some point we've all wondered, how would I end it or could I end it if I had to, at the very least?
Right.
And if we want to avoid this question because we don't have the ability to articulate why those thoughts pop up into our head, then we may think, I have to answer no, otherwise they're going to think something's wrong with me.
Right.
And then we get fearful of our own thoughts when they were never a harm to begin with. But if I can sit there and go, yeah, I think about that. Have you seen the state of the world? I experience fatigue every day because of how we're treating each other. I experience deep despair about how our leaders are behaving. But that doesn't mean I'm apathetic about my own life and want out of my life and my choices.
Right.
Then again, we're just in a healthy conversation.
Yes.
And we can be properly evaluated.
Right. Very good.
We're going to move on to some happier ones later.
Oh, we're going to go.
We got disgust on the list too. Oh, and fear. Really, there's just one happy one.
Don't promise them too much. That's what I was going to do.
Okay. Well, yeah. So sit tight. September, I mean, for so many reasons, is a really rough month. We're heading into so much more uncertainty at this point with things reopening, whatever that means, potentially shutting back down. Stay with us. Be patient. Hit the pause button as many times as you need to. If you need to take a break and kind of chunk this over a certain period of time, yes, your habit tracker and your reflective questions will come out on Sunday and Monday, but that doesn't mean you have to do them on Sunday and Monday.
Yeah.
You can just sort of tuck them away and know that they're in your back pocket for when you have had the time and energy to work through this.
Right. Very good.
Pace yourself.
Yeah. Kindness, gentleness.
Good.
And maybe pick just one word. Just maybe pick one thing that you might be feeling towards one person right now. And or maybe that you're working on that it's your own feeling about your own decisions. Just sit in that a little bit. Just identify and go, it was good to identify.
Mm-hmm. Well, you and I'll share this too. We've also challenged ourselves and then communicated it with each other that for the next little while, we were not going to answer the question, and how are you today or how was your day with good, great, okay, fine.
Right.
We were going to try and find another adjective. So not necessarily a feeling on the wheel, but an adjective that will help us be more creative to go find other feelings.
Right. And I hope people, even though we're bringing out these words, that they might go, I created my own wheel for another core feeling and then secondary and then other feelings.